All right, I'm looking at another Not Wordle today. Now, the way this game works is it's not like Wordle at all, except you're guessing a 5-letter word and it's giving you clues. There's gonna be a whole bunch of clues, so if you're not familiar with it, you can either check out the website, link in the description, or just once I get the first answer in there, I'll quickly go through what they mean. It's not quite as complicated as it initially sounds, and we should never say that this is like Wordle, so I'm gonna start with the word never today, so why not? All right, so this first number is our Scrabble score. We have the Scrabble scores for each individual letter on the keyboard, and the score is too high. Ooh, that's really interesting, because that's not a very high score. The minimum you can do is 5. We need to go towards Z, so alphabetically, our answer is closer to Z. The word is too common. This right here is our word ladder score, so to get from never to the answer in a word ladder, changing one letter at a time, you can get there in 7 moves, and we have 1 yellow, which means there's no greens, because it would tell us green first if there was, otherwise yellow, otherwise it says gray. And interestingly, if you think about it, you can never have a gray that's a different number than 5. So never is too many. So we've got to be 7 or less, which means we can't use anything over 3. So no Y, no H, no W, a bunch of those are out. So we don't have any greens, so we know it doesn't start with N. So going towards Z means we have to change the first letter as well. Now we need to have a bunch of 1-point letters. It'd be good to try and do something that's a score of 6, because we know it has to be 5, 6, or 7 at this point. And so if we do, say, 7 and it says less, it could be 5 or 6. If we do 5 and it says more, it could be 6 or 7. If we do 6, we're gonna know what the score is. So probably 4 1s and a 2? Yeah, it's gotta be 4 1s and a 2. So, are there any 2s later than N in the alphabet? Looks like we have G and D are the only 2s. So we need to do a 1 that's later in the alphabet and then throw a G or a D in there. Something like, well, my first thought is ridge, but we can't do a D and a G. You could, but that would be 7, and we want to try 6 this time. We could do stand. Stand seems pretty good. Why not? Okay, so it is a 6. The score is equal, so we are going with a 6, which means it's 4 1s and a 2. We have 1 green, which could be the D potentially. We need to go towards Z still. Now, the 1 green doesn't tell us anything about how many yellows there might be in here. And remember, we do have 1 yellow from never, so, which could be the N, right? It could be the N was yellow and now the N is green. Could be the N was yellow and now the N is yellow. It could be one of the other letters was yellow. We have no idea. But, let's see. So I don't think the S is probably green. If the S was green, I mean, it could be. Because we could do something like STO instead of STA. No, because we can't have S and T. There's only 1 green. So if the S is the green, that means the T is not green. And so we need to have the T be later in the alphabet, right? The second letter be later in the alphabet, but it would have to be a U then, I think. Because we can't use V, W, X, Y, Z. They're too high of scores. So it would have to be a U. It would have to be something like this. Don't really like that too much. I mean, you could do, something like Sudan, which is a country, but I believe it's an acceptable word in the Wordle answer list. So it is a possible answer. It would actually work. Don't know if it's a great guess, but it would work. I think a better plan is to maybe try something that starts with a T potentially. Because like I said, later than S, you've got T and U and that's it. So we could start with a T, and then if we go towards A, then go something with an SU potentially. Maybe something like TA something earlier on in T, so that if we get a go towards A, you pretty much know it's gotta be S something. I would do something like table, but it's too high of a Scrabble score. We need a D or a G. What about something like tens? That's not too bad. The E isn't quite as early as the A, but I wasn't really thinking of anything that worked with the A. That's still pretty early on in the alphabet, so that's not too bad. I like tens. Let's go with that. Okay, we're still going towards Z, so it doesn't start with an S. Now, it either starts with a U, right? Or it starts with a T, and then the second letter is later. Now, if it starts with a T, then the T is the green. Interesting that our word ladder score hasn't changed at all. And they're all too common. So, I mean, it could start with a U, but something? Yeah, I don't know. What about T-O? Oh, and it couldn't be, I did the E second, but it couldn't be T-E because we would have had a green for the E up there. Oh well, that's all right. T-O something, touch. No, we can't do C-H. Can't do tough. We need to have a D or a G with 4 one-point letters. T-O-U, T-O what? Or we could have T-I. Title? Title would work. That's later, it's towards Z. Still has a score of 6. I don't know, a common is hard to judge. If the T was the green. Oh, but that doesn't work because we need to have a letter from never, don't we? Tides? No, because then you'd have a T and an S that were green. And we can't have an E fourth up here either. Tiger. No, the ER would have been green at the first one. T-O-R maybe? Torrid? That would work. No. Yes, it would, because the D would be the green. The R would be the yellow from the first one. The T would be the green from this one. It's definitely less common, I think. I think that's a good guess. Let's go with torrid. Oh, it's not a word. Oh, it's double R, isn't it? Yeah, torrid is a double R. Shoot. All right, well, I don't know. I'm having a hard time coming up with something that actually fits. I think I'm gonna do tough. I know it's wrong, obviously. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm not coming up with the answer, so I don't know. I'm just gonna do that, get some more information. All right, score too high, we knew that. Too common. Go towards Z still, and we'll still just have the one green. So if it's, I mean, I feel like it starts with T, but if it doesn't, if it does, it's gotta be TU, right? TR, oh, it could be TR. Why was I thinking the second letter had to be a vowel? I don't know. Could be TR. Trend? No, there'd be 2 greens in stand. Then I think it's gotta start with a U, but then where's our green from stand and tens? Undid, no. We'd have a green in stand, but not in tens. And not in tough. That's the hard part, is if it's not a T, then we need a green from stand, tens, and tough. And none of them share letters, so we would have to have like, you know, EA, G or something like that. So I feel like it's probably the T that's the green, and then we need TRA. The A could be from stand. The R would be our yellow from never. Can't be trade, because well, we couldn't have a D then, and we couldn't have a G there. It would have to be something with a G there then if we did TRA. Because we need a D or a G, and the D would already have been in 2 places here. And the G was there. So that doesn't work. If we put the D at the end, what would that be? Trend, but then you'd have 2 G's in stand. Can't do treed, you'd have a green from never. And we also can't do R and E because then you'd have 2 yellows and never. If we do TR, we can't use an E. It started with U, and it wasn't un something. Needs to have usage. We'd have the A in stand, the G in tough. There wouldn't be a green in tens though. That almost works. That's really good otherwise. Using? No, that doesn't work either. There's no green in tens or tough then. How about turns? What would turns do for us? That would have 2 greens and tens is the problem there, and we don't have a D or a G. But tuned, it's obviously wrong as well. I'm just gonna go, I wanna do something that's a TU. Okay, go towards A. Okay, so, and we have 2 greens now. Well, it can't be the E. Could be the D, potentially. We can't have the T and the N. Go toward A. TU, is there something else that would work? Oh, we can't have the E. If the T and the D, okay, so if the T and the D are the greens, then we would need something like this. TR? It would have to be later than O, but earlier than U. Then what would come next? TRI? Something like tried, but we can't do the E in the 4th position. Triad! Triad! Does that work? The D is the green in stand. We have an R that would be yellow from never. This would be the green, the T would be the green in tens, the T would be the green in tough, the T and the D in tuned. I think triad works. And it's, I think it's less common, at least in my mind. Let's try triad. Oh, finally. Oh, man. All right, well, 6 guesses, but that took a lot of time of thinking. I'm gonna edit that all down so you won't see a lot of my sitting and thinking time, but that one took me a long time, so. Triad, oh wow. Man, I was really narrowing in on it and I just couldn't think of what was a word that would even work, so. All right, well, let me know how you did with today's Not Wordle. Be sure to like and subscribe and I'll see you again soon with some more puzzles. Oh, wondered. Okay, so we can do, ooh, we have peeking. It could be speaking, actually. Okay, so that's where the R is. So the C and the H and the Y are no good.
You
So
don't
there's gotta
understand
be
the problem? Well, just happen to have a copy of the 2014 NCAA rulebook here. And if we turn to Rule 10,